everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. So, Elia, Brian Callen are accused of sexual assault, and it seems that Brian and Chris are not welcome at the Joe Rogan podcast, at least for now. So, since the allegations of first there was Elia in July, I was waiting to hear what Joe Rogan would say about that. He said nothing. And then a couple of weeks later, Brian Callen, same thing. And now I'm reading right here that Joe Rogan is not going to have them, is not allowing them on his podcast. So really interesting. I don't know Joe's position, what his position is. He's never said anything publicly. I think that's the smart thing. But anyway, for you people, I'm just going to read this real quick article here from a month ago. And then I'm going to play a clip that Brian Callen posted on Instagram and YouTube. Watch.
All right, so there you go. This article's a bit old, but just for people who are not aware of what's going on with Brian Callen, Elia. Okay, so first it was Elia. That was in July. And then a couple of months, Brian Callen and Elia are buddies. And then it came out, it turns out that, oh my goodness, Brian Callen too. All right, so this article's from July 31st, 2020, but real quick. So it says, as soon as she saw his name, this woman, Catherine Fiore Tigerman, broke out in a cold sweat. Her shirt damp, she scrolled through the text messages from her best friend, alerting her that comedian Elia was being accused of sexual misconduct by scores of women on Twitter. She'd never watched the comic stand-up. She just knew he was the best friend of Brian Callen, a fellow comedian and actor. And Callen, she long told those closest to her, had once raped her. Lightheaded, she logged onto Twitter to scan the allegations. She found that many of the tweets referred not just to Elia's supposed misconduct, but to that of his tight circle of male comedians. My first thought was, is something going to happen with Brian? Tigerman recalled, reading all the comments, I thought, here it comes. I've known how terrible this person is for 20 years, and maybe I'm the only one. All right, it's not the best written thing here. But as you can see, Tigerman is not the only woman to say Callen was sexually inappropriate. Since June 17th, the day Elia started trending on social media, 3 additional women told the Times that they had been mistreated by Callen, who's 53 years old, describing sexual incidents ranging from assault to misconduct to disturbing comments. Their stories suggest a pattern of behavior going back at least as far as 1999, when Tigerman said Callen held her down and forced her to have sex with him as she pleaded with him to stop. All right. Bullshit or what?
Okay, and here's the Brian Callen clip from Instagram. By the way, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Brian Callen, but he seems like a really good guy. I mean, I've been, since Joe Rogan, Brian Callen was one of Joe's, I think it was in the top, I think it was like guest number 30, like way back. So I've been following Brian sort of since the early days. I'm not a big fan of his. I think he's an all right guy, but he seems like a nice guy. I just don't know. Okay, here's what he had to say.
Hey everybody, Brian Callen here. When you're in a situation like I am, you get a lot of advice from a lot of different people. And it usually falls into 2 different categories. Either they tell you to post a statement and disappear, or they say lay low and let the news cycle pass you by. Well, for better or for worse, I'm not doing any of that. I never thought in a million years that I'd be sitting here defending myself against something I did not do 21 years ago. So this is me saying that I categorically and absolutely deny all the allegations against me. I wanted you to see me say that. I didn't want to post some stale statement. I wanted you to hear that come out of my mouth. I have been characterized as someone that no one who knows me, not my friends, not my family, not my fans, would ever recognize. And that's because that's not who I am. That is not that's not something I could do. Those are things never the things that I couldn't do. Those are not things that I would ever do. That is not how I have ever lived my life. And by the way, this is not a video about cancel culture. This is not a video, it's certainly not a video about the Me Too movement. I happen to believe, and it's taken me, to be completely honest, it's taken me a while to come to this conclusion, to understand this. I believe that the Me Too movement is one of the most important movements of my lifetime, because for the first time in history, it gives women recourse against the abuse of power. And that makes the world a better place. And that is not a political statement. That's just fair play. And I believe in fair play. But I also believe in due process. And we live in a very strange time where anybody can make an allegation against you and you are guilty until proven innocent. It's just a fact that social media and the press alone can act as judge, jury, and executioner. And I don't think that's good for anybody. And by the way, I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to fix that. I don't think anybody in particular is even to blame. But when something like this happens, this is pretty much the only way you can defend yourself. So this is me standing up and saying that I have been falsely accused of terrible things that I did not do. And that's what I have to say. Thank you for listening. And I want to thank my fans for rallying around me. Your comments mean so much to me. And to be honest with you, I need them right now. I will be taking a leave of absence, obviously, from my podcast. That's pretty much it. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
There you go. What do you think? Do you believe him? I mean, what is this, a witch hunt? I think we're destroying ourselves. I really do. I don't know if this is true, but it just, something's not right. Okay. Crazy times. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk.